The Cal Online platform, you can invest in treasury bills, you can invest in unit trust funds, you can swap between these investments, and we are bringing in equities as well into the picture. So you can pretty much have a full suite of all these investment products in just one digital platform. When it comes to investment, I think the ability to make decisions faster, quicker, and the flexibility to do whatever you want with your money really matters. And also the level of options you have. So whether I want to invest my money in 1 month or 3 months, or whether I have my risk appetite is very low or very high, you should be able to match any of the investment products to your needs. So that's what we are trying to achieve through Cal Online platform as well, is first to allow access to anyone in Sri Lanka, pretty much democratize access to these capital market products through our platform, and also in turn give you a lot more options in terms of products and services. So whether it is to lock your money up for 5-6 years through a treasury bond, or whether it's to invest in unit trust funds and earn interest daily, where you have the flexibility to withdraw or invest any amount or during any time of the day. We want to pretty much give you that entire suite of products under one platform. So in terms of that's where the technology platform really comes into its own, is where we give all of that access pretty much under one roof. I think definitely technology gives access to people to make better decisions quicker and faster. That's one of the primary goals of technology in the financial sector, helping people make better financial decisions and help in turn the economy grow much faster. Role of technology, actually, I think if you take a look at in terms of fintech over the last few years, especially pre-COVID, in the Sri Lankan context, we've been trying to innovate, but adoption has always been a struggle. And that's where COVID came in, and in 2020, we really saw adoption really ramp up in the financial sector, particularly in the digital segment. And that really, in turn, accelerated a lot more innovation, a lot more maturity in the market in terms of customer knowledge and what they want to do. And if you look beyond the financial sector, projects like the fuel QR system and things like that, which were a great success, really made people a lot more comfortable with technology. So that in turn helped drive the adoption of financial products and things like that in Sri Lanka much quicker than we expected. And we saw that at Cal as well, when we had quite a few. We were the first to launch IPOs digitally in Sri Lanka. And we had massive interest, and a lot of investors, more than 20,000 investors turned up to apply for IPOs digitally, which was quite surprising to us to see, and which kind of gave us a good kind of benchmark of how financially savvy the market is in Sri Lanka, which in turn gave us more kind of impetus to go and develop more and better products for Sri Lankans. So we have all the necessary ecosystem kind of in place to develop the technology ecosystem in place to kind of really turbocharge growth of the economy for the next few years. So basically, Cal, if you go back 10-20 years ago, when we started out mainly as a primary dealer, so we were mainly focused on the institutional sector, where we deal with institutions, corporates, and as well as high net worth individuals. And also, as the business grew into other different areas like asset management, stock brokering, corporate finance, obviously the driver or the segment that we looked at was always institutions and corporates and high net worth individuals, particularly when it came to asset management and private wealth management. But what we realized about 6-7 years ago was that combination with technology and these products, what we can really do is we can standardize these products that any person can use. The benefits of using these were not really known by the general public as well. And what we realized, these particular products, particularly like mutual funds, which are called unit trust funds in Sri Lanka, treasury bills, bonds are typically not known by the general retail, and it's a more sometimes more convenient or sometimes a better option than the traditional options they are presented to by the traditional banking sector. What we realize is that through technology and through digital platforms, we can allow access to these products to anyone in Sri Lanka. And also a combination of these products sometimes can give you a lot more benefits as well as a lot more options, financial options and financial freedom than the typical standard banking products. So what we realize is also, especially during COVID or after COVID, that there is a lot of pent-up demand for these kind of options as well. And especially after our economic crisis, people are even more financially aware or astute, and they really want to figure out how we can invest better, save money better. So through capital markets, we can give a lot more options as well to customers, and through our digital platform as well. We have managed to integrate all of these products into one platform. The Cal Online platform, you can invest in treasury bills, you can invest in unit trust funds, you can swap between these investments, and we are bringing in equities as well into the picture. So you can pretty much have a full suite of all these investment products in just one digital platform. The clear strategy and vision of what we want to achieve was the main driver. And I think we have a great leadership team who really promotes and fosters that kind of culture in Cal. I think that motivation is required, that attitude towards learn fast, experiment, and then repeat is one of the key mantras we have. That has been the key driver. And also what we realized is that this is an untapped market for us as well, right? So it's always exciting to go after that particular segment that we never really thought we would. One of the main things also that we really focused on was R&D. We invested a lot of money in technology, particularly in terms of cloud as well as SaaS applications. So that allowed us to iterate a lot faster, experiment a lot faster, see what really customers were liked and what they didn't like. Also, we managed to deploy solutions much quicker than our traditional competition were able to do. The ability to get to market quicker was one of the key factors behind our success as well, of getting a lot of investors on board. That kind of continues today because we are continuously getting feedback from customers to iterate on our product. We always make sure that research is done and also look at the overall market dynamics as well to improve our products. So a combination of those pretty much. Particularly in the retail segment, people first really want to understand what they want to invest in and what the platform they're using. So the educational component is very important, and that's something where Cal tries to play a role of trying to be educate and try to bring more awareness about these products, the pros and cons of these products to the retail consumer. And that's just the first step of the journey. And always what we see is there is an emotional need or a requirement attached to when it comes to financial matters for people in the retail segment. So it is always important to make sure that journey aligns with that requirement or need. So we want to make sure that whether it is making sure that the context or the platform is easy to use, even from the colors you're using to how many clicks you need to get to invest in a particular product, it all kinds of matters and ultimately in making that decision faster and quicker. So I think that's an area that maybe some finance companies and banks and even players in the capital markets sometimes don't really pay attention to what really the customer has to go through to make those decisions. So that journey of trying to understand the customer and what they are trying to really achieve by investing, and the journey of getting to that decision is very important. So, us making sure the platform or whatever service we are developing is aligned with that is really important. We are pretty much applying all that knowledge we have gathered working with HNIs, working with institutions, and applying it into the retail segment. And of course, retail is also again a lot more different than the sector that we have been dealing with. It has been a challenge also to educate the retail segment on these different products and what kind of benefits and the pros and cons as well, both of these different products. So I think we had to invest quite a little bit on the educational aspect as well, which we didn't have to really do with the HNIs or investors. So that's something where we have also invested in, where we have a dedicated social media team and kind of, where we focus really on bringing the education part out there to customers so that they can learn about the products and understand it. So it's always a lot more emotional need when it comes to the retail segment. So you really want to see what their requirements are. So it can be a lot different to what a HNI or a institutional investor needs. So the user journey, the customer experience is a whole lot different to what we have been dealing with, where it's a lot more personalized, it's a lot more human touch involved, and we are trying to replicate that digitally. So that's what we are trying to do. I think for them, again, the regulatory framework and the whole ecosystem works well in their favor. I think we have two key challenges when it comes to the Sri Lankan ecosystem there. One of them is digital identity. That's something that area that we can improve a lot, because I'll just give one example. If you go to Bank X and open an account, and then you just soon after opening the account, you realize that Bank Y is giving you a better deal, a better interest rate, or they're giving you a free credit card. 95% time you wouldn't bother applying again or joining Bank Y. You'd be like, yeah, it's okay, I'll stay with Bank X. But likewise, if you just see, this particular leasing company can give me a better rate than my current leasing company for my car, it's unlikely do I want to go through the hassle of filling out all this paperwork? Do I need to go through all of this KYC, know your customer processes? It's highly unlikely. But if you do manage to have a proper digital identity mechanism, a national initiative behind that, you can swap between these services almost instantaneously. And it's not a far-fetched dream. Our neighbors across the pond, India, has this implemented already. They have a national digital identity platform called Aadhaar, where they have almost all of their population registered. And they can swap between financial services and government services. It transcends beyond fintech. So that has really fueled their growth, that has enabled them. They have spent billions on that platform, clearly expecting that kind of return. So that's something where we need to head to. So you don't, live with the same financial institution forever in your lifetime. You should have the ability to swap between services and products that you feel like gives you the best service or the return or the best deal. The framework and the policies and the ecosystem really should be geared towards that, making sure that everything is a lot more fluid. The other also, the fact is payment networks. So the better the payment network, the better people can transact easily and do transactions quicker and more efficiently. I think Sri Lanka is also definitely up there in terms of payment networks. We have again more room to go. But a combination of these is something that is really fueling other countries to really develop products that are so catered towards each individual product needs. So that's, I think, a strategic vision that Sri Lanka also needs to have, and the area that the corporate sector and the government sector needs to work towards.